Well, hello all you fine people out there in YouTube land. This is the NRA Man Forever, coming to y'all from South Texas once again. And this particular episode of Lame Ass Excuses for Gun Control, we're going to be talking about the fact that apparently even a majority of NRA members support universal background checks. Our quote today comes from Mr. Mayor Cory Booker. He said this in December 19th of 2012. Overwhelmingly 84% of gun owners in America, 82% of gun owners in America, 74% of NRA members believe that should change. Changing that alone, ending those secondary markets, makes a difference. Now, that he is talking about happens to be universal background checks, that it should become law. Now, we already have a national background check system set up in place as far as when you buy guns from a legitimate dealer, a licensed firearms dealer. Senator Chuck Schumer stated that background checks in that case have blocked 1.7 million persons from buying a gun. Now, he didn't go on to state and clarify that those were just initial denials. Those initial denials, they're not all that uncommon. My mom has a misdemeanor on her criminal record, or on her criminal history, from when she TP'd a house as a teenager. Obviously, that's not going to disqualify anyone from legal eligibility to buy a firearm from a dealer. However, because her last name is Ortiz, and there's a lot of Ortizes in this country, Ortiz is probably the Hispanic equivalency of Smith for Caucasians. There is another person who has maybe a similar name, and maybe the birthdays are close together, that apparently is not able to buy a gun that initially gets denied, because every time my mother goes to buy a gun, she gets initially denied. The 1.7 million people he's talking about, not all of them are legally excluded from the right to purchase a firearm. A lot of them are just initial denials. They're mix-ups. Add to that, the poll in question that Mayor Booker here is talking about was conducted in May of 2012. Now, it was commissioned by Mayors Against Illegal Guns, Mayor Bloomberg's famous anti-gun group. And it was conducted by Frank Luntz. He's a pollster, a Republican strategist, or consultant, whatever you want to call him, who does these polls for different groups and also works for Fox News during elections. His specialty is taking a poll and twisting the wording of the questions so that it creates a favorable outcome for the client, whoever it is that's commissioning him to do the poll. His studies have been questioned. His polls have been questioned on numerous occasions. And in 1997, he was reprimanded by the American Association for Public Opinion Research because he repeatedly refused to make public essential facts about his research. to include the wording of the questions he was asking in the commission of these polls. In fact, that same group tried to get him to provide just basic information that he was intentionally omitting when asking questions in the commission of these surveys. These requests were outright ignored for over a year. All that was asked basically in these questions in these polls was if they supported background checks, universal background checks on the sale of firearms. Who is not going to say no to that? For the full emphasis of what the poll was going for and what Mayors Against Illegal Guns was going for, the question should have been worded either exactly or close to what I am about to ask. And that is, do you support background checks on all transfers of firearms to include within a family, for example, a father giving a child his first firearm, or a husband giving a wife a little snub-nosed .38 for concealed carry, or a friend giving another friend a pistol, a firearm, as a welcome home or birthday present. But of course, that wouldn't have achieved the desired results for Mr. Luntz's clientele, so he just left it at, do you support the sale, do you support background checks on the sale of firearms? Now, and the case against Mr. Luntz in his poll does not end there. Even the Washington Post stated that the survey was faulty, and it used a non-random opt-in interview panel to contact self-implied NRA members, which is where the 74% of NRA members comes in. Now, this is not members that these are not people that they went back and asked the NRA, are these? No, they were people that either had let their membership lapse, or they had a dad or a husband or somebody that they were related to that was an NRA member, so they kind of just lumped themselves. They were self-identified members of the NRA, not actual dues-paying members. Now, I'm sure some of them were actual dues-paying members, but the majority of them were self-identified. And it goes further. Even worse for Luntz in the poll was of the less than 950. It's 945 to be exact if you're curious. Gun owners nationwide that were asked, they were divided evenly, 50-50, between those who were current or lapsed NRA members, or non-NRA affiliated gun owners. So they lumped the lapsed members and the current members into one group, and then the non-affiliated NRA guys were all over here. Or the non-affiliated with the NRA guys were all over here in their own group. So in actuality, there were three groups polled. An earlier poll conducted in 2009 by Luntz for Mayors Against Illegal Guns showed that only 26% of non-NRA members and 16% of NRA members agreed that they felt that laws covering the sale of guns should be more strict. And in another recent poll of current, and that's the key word there, current NRA members showed that only 5%, and I'm sure that number is rounded up, supported a new federal ban on the sale of firearms between private citizens. And even if a majority of gun owners supported it, a ban on the transfer of firearms between neighbors, between a father and son, how would you enforce it? It's the NRA man forever saying, united we stand and divided we fall. Join the NRA.